we can't ignore the fact that he's got a little bit more money in his pocket as of this summer. 4 years, $81 million extension reported not too long ago. So really happy for Hart. He deserves every penny. He plays hard. He brings a lot to this New York team. They're happy to have him. And again, he just fits like a glove with that Thibodeau culture.
Yeah.
Just what he brings to the table. So, we asked you about Brunson last year. Want to get your thoughts about Hart this year. How do you feel about the deal, the dollar amount, the years, and him being a part of this New York culture here long term?
Well, I loved it when they picked him up at the trade deadline. I mean, the best rebounding guard in the NBA, or if not number one, number two, a two-way force, a Tom Thibodeau player, as you said. Brunson set that tone. Randall kind of kept them on that incline, and then Hart really just took them over the top to ensure that they solidified that fifth seed and making that playoff run. He was very instrumental when he got to the Knicks at that trade deadline. And when I saw the deal, number one, I knew he was going to get close to that amount of money. When he opted in to that $12.9 million player option, and which allowed the Knicks to sign Dante DiVincenzo to close to the mid-level exception, I knew the Knicks were going to reward Josh Hart with a deal that was going to be close to $20 million per year. Now, with the salary cap increasing and with you have inflation, $20 million a year is not the same as it was 5 years ago. So the immediate overreaction that a lot of fans have, not just with Josh Hart, but with a lot of NBA free agents, is overpay. But when you really dig into the numbers and look at how much that salary is going to count against the salary cap percentage-wise, the highest it's ever going to get is 13.7% of your cap. Mm-hmm. And so as they go into the year, and on top of that, only 3 years are guaranteed. The fourth year is a team option, which Leon Rose and his crew have done a great job in doing when they brought these guys here. A lot of these guys have been here on 3+1s, 2+1s, 1+1s. Mm-hmm. So they did another great job there. And then when you look at the value, what he brings to this team, Josh Hart is another guy that covers a lot of mistakes for this team. When you think about his rebounding, getting this team out in transition, sometimes he can be a one-man fast break. His selflessness, his ability to play make, making smart reads, another high IQ player that this team desperately needs. He's a very valuable component to this Knicks team. And so I was happy with the deal. I felt like it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to stay with the Knicks. Now, where does he need to improve? You hope that he can find some consistency in his outside shooting. Because when he got to the Knicks, he hit a huge hot streak. And then it kind of came. Then he came back to the mean, which you would expect. But then in the playoffs, he became a non-factor. And once he became a non-factor, it really compromised the Knicks' spacing. It clogged up the paint a lot more. Tom Thibodeau made some really wonky rotation changes between Hart and Quentin Grimes, and things kind of grinded to a halt, especially in that Heat series. So his outside shooting is definitely something that I love to see him improve on.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. As soon as you said improvement, my mind went to the shot. All you have to do is go back to the Miami series, and for them, it was trying to slow down Jalen Brunson. And how did they do that? They started loading up on him and gave Josh Hart a little bit more space, which, as you mentioned, compromised their offense. So definitely an area that we need to watch. Although he's not exactly a bad shooter. I mean, like you said, it was ebbs and flows. So it's not like he's just straight up a non-factor out there. Shot about 37% for last season, and first career he's at about 35. So he's about a league average shooter when you look at the numbers. Not too bad for a guy like Josh Hart that brings you the defense, brings you the rebounding. He's just a really good glue guy, a good connector that does a lot of great things on the court. So I'm with you. The contract is solid. $20 million annual average value in this economy, so to speak, is not bad at all. And you pointed out the percentage of the cap. We're talking about 13%. Not exactly crazy. I mean, it's not 20. It's not 30. He's not being paid like a max player by any stretch. He's being played like a very solid upper-level role player, which he is. It's exactly what he is. So when you look at it from those different perspectives, it starts to make a lot more sense.